Alright, looking at Swift Weekly. It's a newsletter I started very recently looking at, and they usually have some good stuff about Swift. Thing is though that like it's very difficult, I think. We still in like most people are still in Objective-C, and I really don't like that language at all. I think it's probably the most unaccessible language of all I've ever of every language I've ever seen. And yeah, I don't like it one bit. But Swift is really nice. But like for the most part, I don't find anything like it's maybe 1 out of 5 or 10 articles will be something that catches my eye and gets me interested. So catching leaky view controllers without instrument, this sounds interesting because I actually do have a few memory leaks. I've been trying to learn the memory leak profiling tools that Swift have, and like, oh, not Swift, but Xcode. And I I'm still kind of learning how to debug memory leaks. It's one of those things that I don't have that much experience with, but it's really important to know this stuff. I mean, that's actually once again one of the like if there was ever an argument for PHP and like reading from disk for pretty much every request, it's that memory leaks are not much of an issue because you kind of like you empty that memory and you don't have that problem so long like these solutions such as Swift and Java and like these other leaky languages. That's something you have to account for. It's a little bit of a bother, I think, because memory leaks are very, very difficult to debug most of the time. It's not an approachable problem, and you have to be pretty good at what you do to do it effectively. So that's what I'm trying to do, trying to learn how to do it in an effective manner. Oh, and that's also something that's pretty cool about Elixir if you're looking into that. Elixir has, like, or rather not Elixir itself, but Erlang and the engine underneath the beam is it has this amazing concept where it has multiple running processes, and if a process crashes for any reason, there is a external process that monitors these other processes, and that process you don't have any direct access to it as far as I know anyway. And what it does is that it looks at, oh, this process that had an issue, it crashed, and it reboots that process, it kicks it up again. So if you have a memory leak and or some critical bug or something that just fires maybe in a very specific condition, it won't actually matter that much to the system because the system has multiple processes running. So if one process, there's a bug or anything like that, that's just a very rare one, it just kills that process and starts it up again, and you can keep on running. And that's just, I mean, to me, that's mind-blowing. That's amazing. It's like, have you restarted your computer, having that built into the framework or to the language. And let's be honest, a lot of those problems you have that are really high cost problems, the type of problems that takes consultants and like really tech savvy people a lot of time to fix and costs a lot of money, can be solved by simply turning stuff on, start turning it off and then turning it on again, and then you don't have that problem anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna look at this article, and yeah, that's gonna be it, and then maybe a shower or something. So I pretty much just read through this article here, and it was a pretty cool trick. I was a little bit disappointed though that there was like not really a discussion on how you solve a memory leak. It's just, this is a memory leak. This is a nice way to figure out if you have a memory leak, but it doesn't really tell you, okay, how do I fix it? But the idea basically being that you can leverage this is being dismissed property that's on the view controller, and yeah, and is moving from parent view controller. So the code here is he basically creates an extension with a view controller, and it creates a little function that takes a time interval or a delay And then let's see here, root parent view controller, DHE root parent view controller. So yeah, it looks at the parent control root parent view controller, and as you can see here, if is moving from parent view controller, or root parent view control is being dismissed. So basically what the function does is it's checking if one of these conditions are true, and it's looking for, like, if the view controller is being moved out of scope and it's no longer visible, or it's being dismissed, or it's going to be removed. Let's see, a type of self, it takes the type, disappearance source is removed from its parents, dismissed. Yeah, so basically it creates a it's just checking which it is, if it's being removed from the parent, or if the controller was, the view controller is being dismissed. And then it sets up an async after. That's a new one, I have to look at that. And basically an async call that is going to run after, I suppose, this body is being executed. And then let's see, deadline dot now plus delay. Yeah, so after this is running, then plus the delay, execute weak self in, yeah, and then he does an assert self is equal to nil. So what basically, if I understand this completely correctly, what's going to happen is that when this call is made, it's going to look at, okay, give me the time, like the actual time, the deadline for executing, like this is going to be executed after this delay, async after. So he takes the current time, adds the delay that was added up here, plus that time, and then he will execute this assertion, which if the self is equal to nil, the self is equal to nil, yeah, after being disappearance source. Type not delegate after being, okay, that's a little bit weird. I would have expected that to be not equal to nil, because then to me it makes sense that if it's not equal to nil, then we know that the object is still in play. Like if it's nil, if there's nothing there, then no problem. And then he has this private little function, and yeah, okay, that's what's happening up there. So root equals self, while let parent equal to root dot parent, root equals to parent. Okay, so that's a while loop he's firing off. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. If not nil, only if we have a retain string keeping the view controller. No, that's not correct. I think either I'm misunderstanding what he's doing here, or I think there's a little bit of a bug here, that this should be a not equals to nil. But maybe I'm missing something. I'm just reading this right now, so I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. But in essence, what he's doing later is that in his view controller, he does view did disappear, and then he just makes this call here, which is this call where he's actually, yeah, and then he gets this nice error message outputted if the view controller is causing a memory leak. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a pretty, it's a cool trick, I would say, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm still learning how to debug like memory leaks and so forth in Swift, and I just think that it's a bit of a hassle. So this is a pretty nice trick if I wanted to like look at this specific case, and that's usually what I do. Like, no, I don't know, like some stuff I know, some stuff I don't know, and it's great to have these people produce like a little tutorial about, oh yeah, I've tried this, like for this specific case you can do this and that, and yeah, that's pretty great, I think.